Hello, and welcome back. My name is Kiara, and no, I'm not deleting your beautiful comments, okay? I pinky promise. I don't know why YouTube does this, and I feel like I need to address it first thing because it's become more and more prevalent in the past couple of videos. More people have been mentioning it. So just so you know, it's not me, okay? I don't know why the YouTube gods do this, but sometimes they see a comment and they just smite it down for no discernible reason. Sometimes I think it's because people will try to leave a link that seems more likely to get deleted, but other times it lets people leave a link. Sometimes it's triggered by certain words. For example, there was a dude who kept trying to ask me if I was a Shiva. Please bleep that out because apparently you're not allowed to say that on YouTube. So he was asking if I was a hermaphrodite. Is that how you say that? Hermaphrodite? You know, if I had boy and girl bits, but not in those words. And YouTube just kept deleting his comments, and he tried to post it like 12 times, and even though YouTube deletes the comments, I still get the notifications, which is how I know this is becoming more of a problem, is because I'll go to look at a comment because I get a notification and then it's not there. Sometimes people delete their own comments, but I know from the feedback that some of you have given me that you think it's me, and it's not me, I promise.
P.S. Postscript. I have never deleted a comment, okay? Not the mean ones, not the gibberish ones, not the ones asking if I'm a and definitely not the ones that are like from genuine people leaving thoughtful comments, which is like 99% of you.
YouTube, stop being a cock block. I want to have idea sex with them. Sorry, I'm getting upset. I know. It's not the end of the world, but also it totally is. The world as we know it is ending, and that's my segue. Today we're talking about the apocalypse. Don't worry, Bunny, the apocalypse in a good way. And in fact, people all over the world throughout history knew this was going to happen. And we've talked about that in other videos, so we won't go too far down that rabbit hole today. But suffice to say that our ancestors on either side of the Atlantic prophesized that there would be a great shift in human consciousness that would bring about the golden age. And we're living in it, yeah. From the halls of the Great Pyramid to the shores of the New World. And what the ancestors told us was that our systems would crumble, new systems would emerge, and this would all be set off by humanity's collective awakening. And you, my friends, like me, have incarnated here at this time because you wanted front row seats to the show. A show I like to call really critical moment in our timeline. It's the difference between a new world and a new world order. I'm so glad. Can you word? No. I'm so glad I get to be in a body for this part and not just like floating up there in the ether. Have you noticed all our systems are crumbling? And even before 2020, people were starting to become suspicious of the big corporate interests and the governing entities in our world. And then when COVID hit, people started to wake up in droves. Did you know that workers like you and me lost a total of $3.7 trillion while the billionaires in the world became $3.9 trillion richer? Tells you everything you need to know. At the time of filming this, it seems like we're starting to get back to normal, but we are in fact caught in the tailspin of a toilet bowl swirl. All of our systems are broken and unsustainable. We are killing ourselves, we're killing each other, we're killing the planet. And so there's two possible timelines. Either we will change or we will die. New world or new world order. And if you've had a spiritual awakening, you know that the change catalyzed by awakening is not a small change, right? It is not a change. It is a total unraveling of our concepts of reality and who we think we are. So what does that look like on the collective level? We know that on the individual level, when we wake up, we become aware that this is an illusion, right? This world that we live in. And we are asked to reevaluate the pieces of our lives. So what does it look like when the world wakes up? The first system that is crumbling is our healthcare system, our public health systems. And God bless the men and women who have shouldered enormous stress and worked insane hours these past 2 years in their roles as healers. We should honor them. Our doctors and our nurses, we should admire them, while also recognizing that the system they are a part of is broken. Our healthcare system is built on keeping people sick. It's why in the West we treat symptoms of illness and not root causes. It's why our insurance won't cover preventative medicine, but doctors will pass out painkillers like Tic Tacs. Our healthcare system is built on keeping people sick in the same way that our politics are built on division. Our economy is built on war. Our financial system is built on debt. Our media is built on lies. Our for-profit prison system is built on incarcerating lower-class minorities. And our sense of self, and what the hell we're doing here on Earth, is built on the materialist paradigm. In other words, none of this is sustainable. None of this is here to stay, and none of this is okay. And here's the thing. The problem is not the doctors and the nurses, the soldiers and the reporters, the teachers and the scientists. The problem is the corrupt systems that we are all in compliance with by simply being a part of. So the question becomes, well, why are these systems corrupt? And what often happens is when people wake up to how deep the rot goes, how corrupt all of our systems are, they want to point the finger at someone. And it's easy to do because the corrupt people are all at the top and we want to be like it's their fault. But those people, the reason they are where they are is because they are a perfect product of that system. But people want to be like, well, if we just take out the bad people, right? I've been seeing this a lot lately and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Take out you mean the Freemason, satanic child trafficking lizards from outer space? We've tried that, okay? Remember? In the French Revolution. Or the Bolshevik Revolution.
The bourgeoisie. Oh, wait, we've done this before. Humanity over here, like,
I have the weirdest deja vu. Have I been here before?
almost like humanity keeps repeating the same cycle, the same one.
Except now, instead of overthrowing the bourgeoisie, we point the finger at something else. Either the mean orange man or the senile one. They are not the problem. Not the left, not the right, not the red, not the blue. They are not the problem. The problem is me. I take full responsibility. And by me, I mean the concept of me, right? That there is a me. That I am a me and you are a you. That's right. We're talking about the ego. And I'm not one of those people who's like a big proponent of ego death. You've heard me bitch about that before in that video there. But the ego can be problematic when it is unchecked. Untamed, the ego is a dangerous thing. But maybe the ego isn't the right model for these conversations. Carl Jung talked about it in terms of making the unconscious conscious. And in the traditional, like the classical model of spirituality, everyone wants to kill their ego so they can become enlightened, right? A God self in human form. In the Jungian model, we're not trying to kill anything. All we're trying to do is become conscious of the different pieces of ourselves, to shed light on our subconscious, our unconscious, all the things that we're not aware of happening in ourselves, to become aware of them, and then to accept them simply by integrating them. But in either model, there is a mechanism in the psyche that doesn't totally serve us. And we won't go down that rabbit hole today, but suffice to say that mechanism, whether you call it ego or the unconscious, is responsible for all of the corruption and division and war and bad things in the world, right? The separation between me and you. I am a me, you are a you, no relation, thank you very much. In the Jungian model, we are unaware of ourselves. In the Eastern classical spirituality, words are hard, model, the self is the Godhead, the absolute source spirit, whatever you want to call it. And something really interesting happens when we put those two ideas together. One way of looking at that is that humanity as a collective, as a whole, has been unconscious of its true nature, of itself, for most of our history. We are unaware, for the most part, that we are one consciousness manifesting as infinite possibilities. We've made this terrible mistake, you see, of thinking that we are our bodies rather than our bodies being an extension of us. And when we feel separate from everything around us, when we feel that you are a you and I am a me and there is no relation, when we are unconscious of the fact that we're actually connected to everything, then we don't realize that the way we move through the world affects the world. And that's why Jesus said, love thyself as thy love thy neighbor. Way easier said than done. But the idea is that we are our neighbor and our neighbor is us. And so those people who have stepped on all those other people to get to the top simply don't realize that all the people they've stepped on are them. And is it their fault, right? They're just a product of the system. And the system is a product of us. Which brings me to the point, finally. Our systems are unraveling because we are unraveling. Or is it the other way around? It's hard to say. It's kind of a chicken or the egg scenario. And I think the best metaphor for this is the individual experience of awakening. We've talked a lot about spiritual awakening on this channel. And if you are familiar with that process, you know that waking up often coincides with loss. As we wake up, things start to fall away. As we internally transform and raise the vibration, as the hippies say, external things that no longer suit us start to fall away. And so on the collective level, as we go through this massive metamorphosis, the external world, the entire world, is going to change to reflect that. I believe that things as fundamental as germ theory are going to be called into question, and I don't know whether that's right or wrong, okay? I'm an internet idiot, I have literally no idea, but I think that all the things we take for granted are going to be called into question and re-evaluated, especially the nature of power and our relationship to each other. If things go right, we go for the new world and not the new world order. Everything is going to be decentralized. And this is the biggest difference between the two possible timelines, right? The new world order is the centralization of power and the crystallization of the surveillance state. It's if we keep doing these things that we know aren't good and taking it to the only possible conclusion. The new world, on the other hand, is the decentralization of everything. It is a world that is much more free and much more healthy. Decentralized in every sense of the word, right? Our currency, our power, like where we get electricity from, our food supply, our governing bodies. We're already seeing glimmers of this with things like cryptocurrency and blockchain and NFTs. We're seeing it in the rise of agorism and counter economics. And I would not be surprised if we ended up hearkening back to our roots of 150, right? That's something called Dunbar's number, and it's this idea that humans do best in villages of 150, because when we are in that tribe, if you will, people take care of each other. And so it may not literally be 150, but it's that idea of a sense of community and connection to things. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? Like, more decentralized means we'll be more connected than ever. Hi, friend. Our ancestors knew this shift in consciousness would happen, and that's why they told us about a golden age, the time of the sixth sun, the Age of Aquarius, an age of brotherly love and wild innovation. But first, the old system has to go. Everything has to fall apart so that the new world, hopefully the new world and not the new world order, none of it, can be born. Yes. And in case you were wondering, this is totally why I live out in the middle of the desert all alone with a bunch of guns, collecting rainwater and killing fish with my bare hands.
Eventually.
Am I bad? Oh my god, I'm bad crazy. I didn't know.
Thank you so much for joining me on Idea Sex today. I would love to hear your thoughts about where the world is headed in the comments. And in any case, hail to the power in the sights. And until next time, I hope you stay very, very blessed, my friends.